Hiya John, really good session of the day. Hope you found it helpful. Just going to go through the things we discussed now from the session regards sort of that downswing motion you have with your driver. As we said, there's a part of sort of a sequencing issue really in terms of the top of the backswing down to the goal post. If we look on the left hand one now, as your kind of before, should we say, setup wise very good. Maybe a little bit on your toes there in terms of setup. So just we said, just sort of relaxing a little bit more, kind of equally balanced on the arch of your feet there rather than too far on your toes there. But in terms of the swing here now, club goes back, really good position at the top of the back, so nice good shoulder turn there now. Left arm nicely across your shoulders, but kind of the first move now as we start coming into it, okay, the shoulders start twisting, sort of dropping into that golf ball a little bit. As we come into impact here now, everything kind of starts spinning out. So you can see already at this point now with the club kind of sort of halfway in the downswing, the shoulders are kind of squared up, and as we start then swinging through, even at this point now, the shoulders are already aiming left of target. I mean, if we think we're trying to hit it down sort of this line, your shoulders are already kind of aiming over here. And as that unwinding continues into the golf ball, we can see now before we get into even before impact, the ball's still there. Your shoulders now really kind of cleared out of the way. Hips a little bit stuck there, and just a bit of a heave with the arms, trying to get some speed and power with the chest, as opposed to kind of using the arm speed that we discussed in the session. So if we look on the right hand side, this is kind of the feeling as a practice drill. Balance wise, a bit more on the arches at setup. From the top of the backswing now, just feel kind of almost like a dropping sensation. So the arms are kind of just falling down. This right shoulder here particularly kind of staying back behind you rather than kind of coming at the ball too quickly. It'll give you a lot more space into the golf ball and the ability to swing that club a little bit more towards target with some speed, as opposed to kind of heaving across. We can sort of just about see, if we go into the next frame, the ball sort of just blurring off to the right there as you've hit this golf ball off the toe, because you've pulled your arms into the body left, and that ball now you can see hitting up on the screen there way to the right with a lot of kind of toey cut spin on that as you've sliced right across it. Not really going to produce many sort of consistency shots there. Obviously, if you catch the middle part of the golf club coming that way, that ball's going to be starting way left, and depending on if the club is square or open or closed, we're getting pull hooks and all kind of different type of shots. So that feeling of the arms kind of dropping down here from the start of the downswing, okay, a little bit less sort of body rotation through. Almost exaggerate this now in practice, okay, and the feeling as we come into impact now, if you get back into an impact position, would be the shoulders almost feeling like they're aiming out to the right. The hips going to be sort of sliding forward to a very kind of tilted position, more so than what you had before. So the drill that we put there now is sort of put that head cover down there. You can use a head cover, plank of wood, anything you're going to put down there that's sort of square and a flat edge, and you're going to try and return that club back into the plank, coming more from kind of this direction, feeling as though this right shoulder, right hip, a little bit more kind of underneath. We discussed that sort of pebble skimming position, or sort of a forehand shot in tennis, rather than that kind of over the top move. So you can exaggerate that in terms of your practice movements, letting the arms just fall down here, taking the tension. You can just see from here now where those arms are going to come at this position here. Now this is obviously a little bit exaggerated, but the club now is nearing to the impact position, and we can still see your shoulders now out here. What I would like to see at this point is this left shoulder just a little bit higher, so you sort of slid a little bit more towards target with the hips. Get your left hip and left shoulder a little more bumped towards target. We look at that sort of pre-impact position there compared to where your arms are when you're in the golf ball. Those two positions very, very different. This is obviously exaggeration on the right hand side, but like we said, if you exaggerate it in practice, then when you come to the golf ball, you just step and swing it, and in theory the exaggeration this way will overcompensate the exaggeration that way, and we'll kind of find a middle ground in theory. So if we look here now, we set the golf ball off sort of 3 or 4 of these movements as an exaggeration. Again, good balance now at setup. Same good to the top of the back, so in the arms, feel like they're falling down now. For me, the arms at this position, certainly more across your chest here, whereas this one, the arms are a little bit more kind of out in front and a little bit steeper. If we come into impact here now, if I define that frame, that's just before impact. The next frame now is going to be impact or just after there. You can see kind of where your shoulders are. If we look at this one on the right hand side, if I come back and again a frame later just before impact there, you can see, I can stop it. You can see at this position here now, similar kind of position there. We can still see a bit more daylight between your left and right arm. The shoulders are more in this direction rather than that one. You just look a little bit less sort of tucked up and hunched as well. Got a bit more kind of space for your arms to swing, using the speed in your arms rather than trying to sort of heave it with your shoulders. So work on that practice drill. Just remember it's set up to be a little bit more sort of equally balanced, like I say, on the arch of your feet there, not too much kind of on the toes. And just feel that sort of initial downswing sensation. The arms are kind of working first, and then the body's going to start engaging. It's more of a sort of timing sequence we've got to try and work to improve. But like I say, from the top of the backswing, it's a split second to the golf ball. So how it feels and how it actually should be are often very different, but exaggerating it in practice, at least we then step to the golf ball, kind of free up that swing, make it a little bit more kind of just step up and hit kind of mentality. So hope that all makes sense. Any questions, obviously give me a shout, but we'll catch up soon. Cheers, John.